to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Vada here in Bolton. Nathan Gorman joins me. Mate, good to see you. Thanks for giving me some of your time. How are you, mate?
Yeah, all good, mate. You?
Yeah, very well, very well. Let's talk about Ricky on his professional debut. The first thing I noticed was the shot selection. He loves winging in and big lefts to the body, but the shot selection is really good, and a point's been on his debut, and you would have spoke to him. I suppose he's more than happy.
Yeah, definitely. He's his own big, obviously, worst critic. He wasn't happy with a few things, but I thought he'd done very well considering where he's been. And, last time he boxed, he was 18 years of age. So he's been out of the ring 7-8 years. He had 6 amateur fights. He got back into the gym to lose a bit of weight. Ended up getting the bug because obviously it's in his blood. It never leaves you. And here we are today, his debut. Fought a fella, very game, very tough, durable. Recently boxed Dave Allen in his last outing. So experience-wise, it takes someone like that in your debut. I thought he'd done very well. Obviously got a knockdown. He experienced a few headbutts, so welcome to the professional game. I thought he'd done very, very well. Marvellous, to be fair.
Yeah, and I'm going to speak to Ricky in a bit, but you only get one debut, and you could see in there he wanted to let shots go because you've got to have fun on your debut as well. It's easy to stick to your boxing and do this and that, but you could see he wanted to show and get in there and show that he can hurt a man.
Exactly. You could see he was keen to impress. He caught him with a big shot and he went wailing in, and obviously he's got to realise it's a professional game. You just got to gradually over rounds, but it's all learning. I'm still learning. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. He's done extremely well. Can't be any prouder.
Yeah, really good performance from Ricky tonight. Right, I said this to you off camera, now we're on camera. What's the lowdown, you and Wardley? Because realistically, that is a fight that just needs to happen. We need a date, we need it to happen. I know you're in the gym, what's the deal?
I want it to happen. Listen, I boxed in June, I boxed obviously Salek, and they said, do you want to box in September? Wardley. I said, yeah, fine, I'm good to go. I had 4 or 5 days off, I was back in the gym. Then 3-4 days after that, he got injured. It was one of them things. But I've been ready to fight for God knows how long, so I want to box in November. I can't box in December because my wife's obviously having a baby. I can't do that, so I can't box on these terms. If he wants to fight, we'll fight, but more than fair. I want to box in November. I think that's what we're looking at. November, the end of November or something like that. It's a really good fight. You know what I mean? He's obviously unbeaten, 15-0. Is he 15, 16-0, something like that? Yeah, I've had 20 professional fights, so I've fought for a British title. It's a really intriguing fight, 50-50 fight as well.
We know what it's like with the belts sometimes. If they don't happen, perhaps before a date or on certain terms, things can change. Exactly. So could we be in danger of, if this fight doesn't happen in November, this fight doesn't happen?
I hope not, because I want it to happen in November. Obviously, listen, if he doesn't want it, it's no harm done. It is what it is. We'll just move on and do what we've got to do. But I can't see him not wanting it. There's a British title on the line. Biggest fight of his career, isn't it? You know what I mean? So it's a good fight. I have respect for Fabio Wardley. He's a really good fighter. And I've spent time with him in camp. I had him in camp when I was boxing in Dubai for 2 or 3 weeks. He's a nice fella. But obviously, this is business. It's my future. So if we fight, I'm more than happy. I'm in the gym now, and November's the date. Let's do it.
November's the date. Let's do it. You heard it from the man himself. Quick one on, and I know you've been asked about this multiple times. I think I've asked you about it every time we bloody spoke. There was that little 3-day window, wasn't there, where we thought Fury Joshua was going to happen. Was you ever of the belief that it was going to happen? Because I know that sometimes people in boxing are the biggest pessimists.
I was, to be fair. I thought it's going to happen this, and obviously now it's pissing in the wind now, isn't it? So it's a shame. I think it's one of the biggest British fights, especially heavyweights as well. It's unbelievable. What if I could pick it all? I'd like Fury Usyk, let him win all the belts, and let Joshua Fury for all the belts back in England. If I could pick it, I think he beats the pair of them very, very comfortably. But obviously, I've heard the big man's back out in December the 3rd, is it, or the 7th, or something like that. So it'll be interesting to see who he fights.
Well, we're hearing now of Derek Chisora. I remember a few years ago he said, before I retire, I'll give one last chance to my old mate Del Boy. I'm sure they won't be mates in the build-up if it does happen, but Fury Chisora free?
Yeah, I think everyone will buy it, won't they? Everyone will pay into it. I think
it does numbers, doesn't it? It definitely does numbers.
The thing is, Tyson Fury can box whoever he wants now because he's got that much publicity around him. He'll always do numbers. He'll sell out the arena, so it'd be interesting to see him and Chisora the 3rd time. Chisora doesn't lay a glove on him again, but it'll be interesting to see.
It'll definitely be a good build-up, that's one thing we do know. And just one more thing, obviously, look, tonight there was meant to be a lot of the public eyes on the O2. Chris Eubank and Conor Benn. That isn't obviously happening as we speak. Just kind of your take on. I'll say, what was your initial reaction when you found out about the adverse finding in Conor's test?
It's a funny thing. I've done some research on it. It's a funny drug or something, woman drug or something. Listen, if it's a performance-enhancing drugs, my opinion, it should be banned for life. You know, it is. There's no sugarcoating it. When us as fighters are going in there, putting your life at line, because that's what you're doing, you're modern-day gladiators. And then you got someone like Chris Eubank Jr. who's coming in and the weight where he's never been at since 17 years of age. There's a rehydration clause of 8-9 pounds or whatever it is. That's danger. That's got accident written all over it. You know what I mean? So, if he has done it, then you know it's not nice. Not nice at all.
I take it you're of the belief, like many people I've asked in boxing, that the fight shouldn't have gone ahead because, of course, UCAD, he did pass the test, and UCAD is the one recognised by the board. And as soon as the news come out, the promoters and the fighters were both pushing and saying this fight will still go ahead regardless. I take it you, like a lot of people I've asked, believe that it's right that it's not going ahead.
Yeah, because if someone's taking enhancing drugs, they're 50% better than you already, aren't they? Because they've got supplements. What's going to make them 10 times the athlete? You know what I mean? 10 times the fighter. So it's not a fair battlefield, is it? You know what I mean? You want to be fair when you get into that ring. You want a plain, fair fight. That's all you want. You know, you don't want someone hyped off his eyeballs on whatever he's on.
And if there isn't to be any ban in place, or obviously we don't know what's going to go on, there is going to be a big fallout and aftermath. Would it be tainted if we're perhaps to see the fight rescheduled for, say, even February, March time? People do have short memories in boxing.
Of course, listen, it could be something or nothing, this thing, you know, until it gets properly released out and you know what's happening. I'd love to see that fight. I think any boxing fan in the world would love to see that fight. You know, it's Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. You know, it's the fathers reincarnated fighting each other. It doesn't get bigger, does it, really? So I hope it can reveal itself and then get back in, you know, and it's a fair playing field and everything's sorted. For us fans.
Yeah. Brilliant, Nathan. Top man. Always good to speak to you. Thank you. Appreciate it, mate.
I'm going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.